Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I bring to you another client tutorial, but this time I am doing my mama's makeup. So the day that I recorded this was on Mother's Day, so this is my gift to her. It's my first time touching her face and making her more gorgeous than what she already is. So I'm starting off by taking the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and I am just pressing that in with a brush that I picked up from Morphe. To correct the darkness under her eyes, I took two shades from the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I took a peach tone and then I mixed it in with the orange tone to help brighten up her eye area. Then to conceal the color correct, I took another LA Girl Pro Concealer that's closer to her shade to help cover the orangey peachy tone. To make sure that those colors are blended out perfectly, I went in with a damp beauty sponge to blend it out and make sure that it is covered very nicely. So today I decided to do some underpainting. So I took a darker shade from the LA Girl Pro Concealer to contour her forehead, her cheekbones, and her nose. I love the way that my mom's cheekbones are shaped because it helps so much to contour because they're just right there. Like, I don't have to do much to find where the hollows are. So shout out to you, Mom, for blessing me with some bomb cheekbones. For her nose contour, I didn't dip back into the product that's on the back of my hand. I just used whatever that's on the brush because I didn't want to make it too harsh. Once again, I'm taking my damp sponge and I'm pressing the product into her skin and blending it out so there won't be any lines of demarcation when I put on the other layers of her base. To highlight the center of her face, I took the shade medium beige, I believe. If that's not the correct color, then I will definitely have the correct one in the description box down below, so make sure you guys check that out. So I'm using that shade to highlight the center of her face. I didn't want to use too much product because I don't know if she likes to have heavy makeup on her face. Like I said, this is my first time doing her makeup. So yeah, I went a little bit brighter because once again, I am underpainting. So I did want it to show while I have the foundation over top. So I started to blend out with a brush, and then I eventually moved over to the sponge to help further blend out the center of the face so it can melt perfectly into the contour shade. I took the same side of the sponge where I blended out the contour shade because I wanted to once again make sure that the lines are soft, there's no lines of demarcation, and it helped blend out the shades as well. For foundation, I took the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation, and this is in the shade Warm Honey. So I tapped my brush into the foundation that's on the back of my hand, and I pressed it into the skin while blending it upward and out to help pull those two highlight and contour shades together. The brush that I'm using today, if anybody is curious, is from Morphe. This is the E6 brush. It's a dense, small buffer brush. I do wish that I used a larger brush to help move the product around even more in a faster process. But I do love this brush. It's very inexpensive. So if you're interested, then head on over to Morphe to get your hands on it. So with this foundation, I definitely went in blind when picking this shade up because my mom wasn't with me when I went to the store to pick it up, but it matched her very well. So it's going into her little makeup kit. So 2 claps for me for doing a good job on color matching. And I am going back into that same brush that I used to help contour her face, just to bring back some of that depth back that was covered up with the foundation. And of course, I am using my sponge once again to help blend out that foundation, just to make sure that there are no streak marks. Moving on to the brows, it didn't take me very long to do her eyebrows because they were already shaped and groomed. I love her eyebrows. It's 10 out of 10, would recommend. Okay, so the product that I did use, I used the Morphe brow pomade in Java, and I only took a little bit since naturally her eyebrows are pretty dark. I didn't want them to look too dark and scary. I want it to look natural and just a little bit filled in. To clean up the brows, I used the same shade that I used to highlight the center of her face, just to make sure that her eyebrows are sharp and clean. For bronzer, I took my Makeup Revolution Mega Bronzer in medium 03. So I started off with a light hand because I did want to build up the product. So the lighter I start, then I can build up on it so it won't look too scary. Making sure that I get the jawline as well, because I did place a little bit of product there as well. For the nose, I just pinched the brush at the tip to help fit into the curve of her nose and her brows. I am pushing the product up into her eyebrows just to give it a more snatched look. To set the center of the face, I took my Laura Mercier powder. I believe this is the banana powder. Once again, it'll be in the description box below, so check it out. I love this powder. It just melted right into her face, so I'm pushing it in with my beauty sponge. So I am pushing while rolling it, because I find that when I push it directly into the skin, it still kind of like sits on top. So if I roll it, then it helps take off some of the product with it, or some of the powder with it, without like moving. Then I went back into the bronzer. I didn't dip back into the little palette. I just took whatever that was left on the brush to help bring back some of that color. Then with a clean fluffy brush, I am lightly dusting away any powders that are left over. To set the face, I took my continuous setting mist from Morphe. So the palette that I'm using today is from Morphe. Once again, this is the Madison Beer Artistry palette, and I love this palette. Okay, the colors just blend in so well together. So the shade that I'm putting into the crease of her eye fold is Devil in a Dress, and oh, this color is just doing it for you, girl. Okay, so I am building up that shade. To deepen up the crease, I went into Life Support from the same palette and I blended it right below the transition color. Once again, I am building up these shades. So eventually I moved over to my Ultimate Utopia palette from NYX, and I used one of the brown shades. It's almost like a light brownie color to further deepen the crease. Then I went in with a clean fluffy brush and I lightly blended those two colors together further. To make the outer V a little bit darker, I went back into my Madison Beer palette and I took the shade Rabbit Hole, which is a black, to further deepen the crease, and it just did everything for me. I did have to use a very light hand because this black is very pigmented and I didn't want to take it overboard and it just ruins the look. So I'm taking that clean fluffy brush once again to help further blend out those three shades together, and once again I am building these shades up. Moving back into my NYX palette, there is this pretty soft pink shade that was just screaming at me, and it just went along so well with the purple and the brown tones in the eye. So I just pressed it on her lid without cutting the crease. Once again, blending it out with that same fluffy brush. I want these colors to melt into each other. I want a soft glam look, okay? So in the Madison Beer palette, there's this glitter, pressed glitter called Stained Glass, and without wetting my brush, I just tapped the brush into it and it just gave me this pretty glow. And then I took the shade Pixie, which is another pressed powder or glitter in the palette, and it just did it for me. It just gave me a light glow to the eye. So for blush, I took my Roxi blush palette from Makeup Revolution and I mixed two shades together on the top right corner, and it just I love these two colors together. It just brought color back into the face and made it so warm. So I'm going in with my L'Oreal eye pencil in brown to help smoke out the eye, and I took the same shades that I used on top of the eye to the waterline, lightly blowing it out and making it smoky and sultry. The lashes that I use today is from the Dollar Lash Club, and I believe they're in the style Sabrina. Love these lashes. They just complemented her eye shape so well. So for highlight, I took my Mega highlighter in just my type from Makeup Revolution for a soft glow. To line the lips, I took a brown eyeshadow. I believe this one came from the Ultimate Utopia palette, since that was the only one that I had available at the moment. For gloss, I took the NYX Lingerie lip gloss in Sable and Bear With Me. The first color that I put down was Bear With Me, and then on top I put Sable. It's a lighter peachy pink. I just want to say that this lip combo just pulled the whole look together. Like 10 out of 10 would definitely recommend. And that's that. So to set the face, I took my Continue spray once again and I just pressed it in with my beauty sponge. So this concludes today's tutorial. I want to say thank you to my mom once again for trusting me with her face. I love you inside and out. You are an amazing person. So glad that I'm blessed to have you as a mom. If you like what you saw today, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. If you are new, thank you for staying to the end of the video. My name is Amir. I am all things beauty and fashion related here on YouTube with a little bit of life content. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope I get to see you guys in the next one. Bye.